round of applause to Councillor Kenya Chifamba. As she give us the welcoming remarks as well as introductions.
Thank you so much, Natasha and Chichi. I feel very old. Because if Natasha is said to be old, so I'm very, very old. So I was going to ask Delphine, I think we're not supposed to be here. This is not for us anymore. But may I take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the representative from the Minister's Office, the Minister of Women Affairs, Community Development, Small to Medium Enterprise. May I take this opportunity as well to acknowledge the presence of the country representative for UN Women Zimbabwe. Have seen that we have representatives from some of our partners that we work with. The US Embassy is represented here by Jennifer. We also have representatives from the Canadian Embassy. We have representatives also from the Dutch Embassy. We have representatives from YET, one of the coalitions that we belong to. See, we are very youthful. That's why YET is here. We also have representatives that are here from the Women's Coalition, the Zimbabwean National Council on Children's Welfare, whom we're also part of their coalition, SAFEDS, the Men Engaged program. I've seen also members from the UN family who are here present, from various embassies, the civil society organizations, and also various who else is there that I didn't introduce? Oh, there's Musasa. Is that Musasa there? Oh, yes. Our child protection partners that we work with, and also various government ministries who are represented here. We welcome you to this very special day. And may I take this opportunity as well to welcome our Honorable Minister of Gender from the Midland State University. Nyasha, can you please stand up? Powerful, powerful. The girls have voice indeed. She's the first president of the National Girls Jury for Shamwari YeMwanasikana since our inception in 2014. And also the former vice president, Miss Natalie Ruya. And maybe just something interesting so they tell you what they are studying, eh?
Hello everyone. I'm Natalie Ruya and I'm studying electrical engineering. Afternoon everyone. My name is Nyasha, studying local governance studies at Midland State University, level 2-2.
Thank you so much, ladies. The conversations have already started and they are quite interesting. We are also into the male-dominated fields, so we are occupying the spaces. And also to media companies who are here, and also to our girls. This way, to Notichi, anything for the girls?
Without the girls is not for girls.
Anything for the girls?
Without the girls is not for the girls.
We wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for you ladies. And to VSO, our proud sponsors, supporters for this event, who have made it possible for the Girls' Rights Movement launch to be done on this particular day. This is a very long speech that I'm holding here. Don't worry, I'm not going to read it. I'm not very good at reading speeches, but what I just want to do is to take you back and let you understand on why, as Shamwari YeMwanasikana, we decided to launch the Girls' Rights Movement. In 2014, we registered the organization Shamwari YeMwanasikana. And when we started off 5 years back, we used to say that we are the voice of the girl child. We were operating then in only 2 provinces, and we used to come across a lot of disturbing issues. Young girls as young as 18 months. I think that's one case that we dealt with in St. Mary's of an 18-month-old baby, a girl who was raped by her biological father. These are some of the cases we'd come across. Would call to areas where child marriages were treated as the norm. and vasikana vaingorodzwa vachienda. And the community members would just talk about it under the carpets, and no one was willing to come out in the open to say this is what was happening. And I'm proud to say some of the girls are represented here. In 2015, we had a march against sexual exploitation in Seke Rural, where we experienced that there were pimps in that particular area, local women who would take our young girls, notably a 15-year-old who was taken by a soccer player who is well known to South Africa without any form of documentation. And she was taken to South Africa until we had to organize for her to be taken back to Zimbabwe. And now she's back. These were some of the issues that would come across. None of the girls within our Dandarore Vasikana platforms was willing to talk about political rights. The moment we would start talking about that, Vasikana Vaisrai. But now you have seen that we have a minister of gender who is there in Midland State University. We would always see women in parliament and envy them, and our girls would talk about it like, oh, when we turn 18, then we would want to take up these conversations. And then we would have some of our girls who were so talented in male-dominated fields, but then they didn't have the zeal and the will also to take up such. That was 5 years ago. Until we started having the Dandarore Vasikana community clubs, where we started opening up doors. Let's talk about social, political, economic rights. Let's talk about those subjects that we feel you cannot talk to your parents or to your pastor at church about. Let's be open about it. Let's create a system where we can hold each other's hand. Tichitaura kuti we are stronger together. Sevaskana. If you look at our logo, it has girls who are holding hands together. We derived it from how we grew up. Kumusha kudara nai. When we would come back from school, when we are done with the field work, we would then go sit down under the tree. Tichitokonora nzungu. And then we would talk about issues that would affect us. It doesn't mean that there were no cases of sexual abuse then. They were there. But the girls would find strength in each other. So then we realized 5 years later that, oh no, now that the girls know about their rights, now that the girls can articulate their rights, the girls themselves also were pushing us, like we felt we didn't have space anymore to articulate well the rights. Of course, fine, we were raising awareness on the issues that the girls felt, oh no, look at the current economics quite high. If we would ask our colleagues from Musasa, they would tell you shocking statistics of cases that they receive on a daily basis of girls who are sexually abused. Girls continue to be married. Girls continue to be sexually exploited. We still have more girls who are not going to school, and not to talk about the issues that are affecting them. Issues of sanitary way. Mapedza akudhura. Akutamari 20 RTGs, and not so many parents can afford to do that. And last year, the government said we are going to provide free sanitary way to our girls in the rural areas. Until now, these are some of the challenges that we would see our girls facing. And then the girls said, oh no, we now need space. 5 years later, what do we do? 5 years later, our National Girls Jury, which is the highest board, the highest decision-making board in Shamwari YeMwanasikana, said, Paticha mirira ekenia kuti pachazota nchadi kuta director in Ndakuinda. Time would have moved. And we are talking about Agenda 2030. We are talking about the SDGs. By the time we get to 2030, no child marriages, no sexual exploitation, every girl child in school, everything should be perfect. But who are discussing these issues? The table is filled with adults. That's what the girls thought. Table so that the girls feel that we are in charge. So the girls felt there was not enough space for us to discuss these issues. They are the ones who are facing the issues. They're the ones who are being married off. They are the ones who know, and they've experienced how difficult it is to miss 5 days of school during that time of the month. They are the ones who know the torture and the trauma of being raped by your own father. We want to take the lead. Chimbotipai mukana, tipei nguva, tipei dariro. Our voices also have power. So getting into 2020 as an organization, we said, let's change the pillars. Getting my child protection, we're offering services. We are now moving towards setting up even our own girls empowerment centers. Very soon we'll be calling you, joining our colleagues and AMSASA. We have been doing great work in supporting us. Girls Empowerment Center, where our one-stop service provision is clearly outlined. Advocates, but advocacy yacho irida kuitwa nani? Tunakumanya sustainable livelihoods. I think you feel nasa wana avo could display avachisa daima what our girls are doing. They started off with reusable sanitary pads, poultry production, until they said uka chad. Achad zida ukudza kwanza. Abuda mstaira ndizvere. Bakati ukwa. Now 25 girls who have passed through Young Africa. We have done carpentry, we have done motor mechanic, and we are establishing an entirely economic center, economic empowerment center, which is in Mureo. Kutarati vasikana vari kutaurata achada zvekuzasi takuda zviri kupi tikuda zviri kumusoro. So the reason why we are here today, the girls said, at some point in time we were told we can decide. Auntie, she decides. We can decide the sexual reproductive health rights, which is one of our pillars. At some time, we were told, the girls are asked to see us kind of much. And I think they were telling Delphine when we were having the briefing, every other time we are called and said, so we are going to be having a regional event where it's focusing on girls' rights, but we only get 5 minutes to speak. The rest of the meeting, if it's 5 hours, it's going to be adults debating and talking. You've never walked in our shoes. You don't know how difficult it is to go to school without shoes, without even accessing quality education. They don't know how difficult it is. So they said, we are now demanding. The girls have the voice, the girls have the power. Let us lead. We want to see more young women in parliament. We want to see more young women in parliament. Let the conversations begin through Kumadandaro. When we are only 14, let's talk about it. We want to see more young women. As we grow up, I want to venture into mining. We want to see more young women taking the lead. 10 who can be like Delphine Serumaga, and then we know we are good to go. By the time we get to 2030, it's not just a number. And it's nice. We don't want it to be just a number. We want it to be a figure with a difference. We want to see impact. So that's the reason why we are here today. We want to launch the girls' rights movement and say, enough is enough. Takuda kumbopiwa mukana. Let us lead. Isusu twaenda kumberi is the girls. And all these girls that you are seeing, because it's a school day, Vashwam, but just so you know, we have more than 400,000 girls who are within our child rights ambassadors clubs. We have girls also who are coming from the community clubs. We have girls also who are coming from the Dangaros. It's a starting point. We have our national girls jury. Unfortunately, one of them is not here. The other one is the one who is the chairperson, the president for the International World Jury. Ndiye anotungamira. Every year we'll be in Sweden. And she will be leading the ceremony anonzi Kimberly Fusire. So as you be seated, we'll be giving you the magazines so you can see the great work that is being done by Kimberly and her team, not only in Zimbabwe, but also world over. So today, we are saying the girls are here. They want to take the lead, to put an end to child marriages, to put an end to sexual exploitation, to see every girl child in school. Let's occupy the male-dominated spaces that are Let's take the conversation to a higher level, politically, socially, economically. Just supporting Tikauya as the media people, as the relevant government ministries, the civil society, the UN family, the embassies, all development partners, as policy makers. We are only coming to fulfill what the girls are saying. This is the route that we want to take. And by the time we get there, we would have achieved all our goals. So with these words, I would like to welcome you all to our Girls' Rights Movement launch. And this is not just about Shamwari YeMwanasikana, please note well. That's why we have also invited our friends and our partners. This is just the beginning. We want all our partners to come on board. Or let all the girls come. Shamwari YeMwanasikana is just in 6 provinces, but we have other organizations that are all over. So jointly, if we build this movement, we will definitely make the noise, and it will be loud and will be visible. They will have no choice but to listen to us. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much, Councillor Kenya. Girls' Rights Movement!
Let's light the fire.
Let's light the fire!
Girls' Rights Movement.
Sorry to say this, but you know what, adults, today we are supporting the girls, but I'm not hearing your voices. So we want to hear your support. We want to hear your support. So maybe if I say Girls' Rights Movement, you as the adults, and then Vaskanonya.
Girls' Rights Movement.
Thank you. That's the support they need. Me, I've been first out. They said I am old. It starts small and simple. Just to watch out. Beware, beware. I am the consuming fire.
Something that can be lighted at one spot, carried away to different areas, is something strong. Bringing the light, yet very hot.
Let's press the red button. Let's light the fire that destroys, that kills, that burns. What kind of fire am I talking about?
Yes, I'm talking about the fire that burns emotional abuse. I'm talking about the fire that destroys physical abuse. I'm talking about the fire that destroys sexual abuse. I'm talking about the fire that no abuser can run away from.
Wow, wow, wow. The consuming fire, the blazing fire, the fire that destroys all the injustice.
We are tired of being abused, so no one can stop us from lighting this blazing fire.
That fire is going to bring privilege to the underprivileged, justice to the injustice, and it's going to give confidence to those living in fear. That fire is going to change the world of a girl child. As the fire is burning, so as girls we are standing and shy. Our motto says, we are the girl child, we are the voice.
We are the future. Together we can. We are the
Girl child, we are the voice, we are the future. Together we can.
Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. They say they have a fire within them that is waiting to burst out. That's the movement itself. Girls' Rights Movement, is it, Chichi?
Yes.
I think we try to lines. They were powerful machines. It starts small, but just watch out. Moto wenda ndisikuno tungongori moto ngoto ukabvira wongonzi wabvira but usiri kusonga kuti wabvira sei. Tutora moto nechampupuro kuti ka uri kusiya pasina kana any injustice. Child marriage iri kutakurwa ichinopiswa ndio moto watiri kutaura.
Yes. Yes.
Our voice, our power. Ndiska. Our voice. Our power. Iswi redu tikataura rine power but kana tikanyarara harina. Anditasha munotiji
I want to kwadi same order when you must my younger mark 20 markers because right now you're showing me that my energy is very low compared to yours. So at this point of time I would like to call upon a very important person who has graced this event as the guest of honor. May you please help me welcome Delphine as she comes for her guest of honor remarks.
Let me say it properly. The Girls' Rights Movement
Let's light the fire.
Let's light the fire. Brilliant. I'm going to go to bed saying that tonight. So I actually want to first of all thank Kenya for inviting me as a guest of honor. We've had a lot of conversations between the two of us, and I just want to say that you're very lucky to have her as someone who wants to champion you. Or should I say, who's opening space for you. I also want to recognize the donor community, all those who are in the room, the Ministry of Women's Affairs, who are also here in the room, my colleagues from the office, but more importantly, young girls here today, and who will also soon be young women. Now, let me tell you the privilege that Kenya is providing for you, and also other women, civil society organizations, and actually VSO as well, making this space possible. I was not born at the time of, I was born actually just when the women's rights movement was beginning. Then skip to Beijing 25 years ago. I had nothing to do with anything in between. In those days, we wouldn't be able to stand here proudly the way you're standing and be able to talk about your voices. And well done for that, young ladies. Well done. I like to see that the voices of the young girls are coming out. I like to think that your young girl voices will become young women voices. I joined the women's movement only in the 1990s, when I myself was young, I was a youth at the time. And even then, I was still very naive about the world. But you're taking the world by storm. And I really enjoy the fact that you're taking your space, because nobody's going to give it to you. You have articulated that you have voice. You're also going into unusual education streams, aside from the engineering stream, but also the decision-making streams in local government areas. That's where your voices should be heard and will be heard so long as you persevere. So aside from that, I wanted to tell you that 25 years ago, there was a Beijing meeting in Beijing on women's rights. That was a landmark moment, or a milestone moment for women, because it spurred on new things. The new things I'm talking about is setting out standards of what women's rights are and what they should be. I would like you all to go home as homework today and go and read those agreements that were had at that time. It's called the Beijing Platform for Action, if you don't know. This year it's celebrating 25 years. The other thing that's celebrating some years is the UN Security Council Resolution 1325, and that is about women, women participating and having voice on issues around peace and security. The other anniversary that is this year is UN Women turns 10 years this year. UN Women was a development that came out of the women's movement that amplified its voice 25 years ago. So, what I'm trying to say here is that you're the next generation and build-up of what has been going on for very many years. And we can only be proud as women here today to hand the baton to you. So, aside from that, take the next 10 years, which are the beginning. This is the beginning of 10 years for the strategic development, the sustainable development goals. So from this year until 2020, we would like to come back. Some of you will be women by then, some of you not. But we would like to come back and say, yes, they did it for themselves. We don't want to do it for you. And hopefully I will be proudly standing here again with the Kenyans saying that, you see, we handed it to them and they can do it. And I will tell you, I have a lot of confidence that you can do it. I have a daughter who is a bit older than the rest of you. And she, confident as she is and proud of what she does as she is, I think wouldn't stand here at your age and speak very proudly the way you speak. So you've come far, but there's a long journey to go. and you're taking on a new responsibility, because we're not going to speak for you. And thank you for coming to us and telling us, don't speak for us. Nothing for us without us. It's very true. Women used to say that as well. The women's movement has said that before. So I'm glad to see that you're willing and you're confident enough to do so. But let's not take the responsibility of mentoring and ensuring that spaces are open for you away from civil society and away from organizations like UN Women and for donor communities, the US Embassy included, and other embassies that are here in Zimbabwe. Because just as much as we're saying we're handing over to you, we still remain responsible for the protection and for the advancement of young girls in the country. And we're happy to do so. To do that. UN Women has also a program about African women it's called the African Women's Leadership Network. Now, that network also had a youth division, and I'd like to see over time young ladies who want to represent themselves or be represented at different structures of decision making do approach UN Women and say, we want to be a part of that. We also have a program for protection, a program that is dealing with gender-based violence as a whole, but including harmful practices, and that's called the Spotlight Program. And I'm sure hopefully, Kenya, you'll be able to let people know about that. It's around the country in 5 provinces, and we do hope that you become voices within that program to show and speak about the issues, because we don't know it all. We don't know your experiences, but we do want to support wherever you sit. So I'm not going to speak very long, mainly because it's very hot, but I'm not going to speak very long. I'm just going to say that this space is not for me to come and make speeches. This space is for you to show us more and for us to build our confidence towards what you want and for us to listen further to what is best for you. I can make a plan, I can go to my office and create a program. But if I don't understand what you're telling me, it means nothing as a program. So that is why I'm here with my colleagues, and that is why we want to hear what is out there for you and what you can bring to the table, and we can work together. So the baton is yours. We've handed it over to you, and please raise your voices further. And we're only here to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. A very big round of applause. And with you for the next 10 years. Shangwe handed the offer to us. Tisuta Tadiso for the next 10 years. Girls, we have the voice.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for those wise words. I hope you guys will listen and understood. Understood. It's not only about getting the button and not being. We have to have action, energy, and be responsible with the button that would have been handed. So at this point of time, we'd like to call upon Noku and Promise. We are going to do a dance routine for us. Noku and Promise.
Everybody dance. The body is
us so much energy. I can't do some of those stunts. I tried thinking that, can I go down? I can't. It's way too much for me. So that's what some of the things the YeMwanasikana girls do, using arts as a way of expressing themselves, using arts as an advocacy too. Be it spoken word, be it poetry, be it even dancing, they do that to engage with people in as much they want to build a movement. They want to build it as per their energy. Be energetic like them, the girls. Girl Trans movement! Let's light the fire! Thank you. And at this point of time, I'd like to call Nyasha, who was once our president of the National Girls Jury, who is going to give us an overview of why we are here. Yes, you may give a very big round of applause. Yes, why we are here, why the girls' rights movement, why do we need it as the girls, why do we need it? So Nyasha is going to give us an overview. Over to you, boss.
Oh, thank you so much for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to be standing in front of great people like you. Never in my entire life have I imagined that I was going to be standing in front of a huge podium like this, deliver a speech with people listening like this. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to see girls, young girls, as a sister performing like this. When I joined YeMwanasikana in 2014, there were only a few of us who understood this movement, and I'm very happy kuti pataka sira we papo vamwe they picked the struggle and they are still carrying on. And if I don't see you girls in the 10 years, next 10 years in my political spaces and all, I'm surely coming after you. Thank you so much once again. So when I became a Minister of Gender and Social Affairs at Midland State University, I was only a first year. And people were saying, you are only a first year, you can't run these elections, you have to wait. And besides, you're only a girl, what do you think you are going to achieve? And then I was like, no, there's no need for me to wait, we are already behind time. This is my call. I'm called to stand for the rights of girls. I'm called to stand for the rights of everybody in this campus. And then I told myself, despite being a first year and being a girl, I'm going to run these elections and I'm going to win. And those days I used to quote this scholar, and then I would always say, there is no true revolution without the liberation of women and girls. May my eyes and feet never take me to a society where half of the population, women in particular, are held in silence. I grew up, and I'm not ashamed to mention it, I grew up in a very humble community. I wasn't privileged as many of us here are, but then I just told myself that I was going to excel. I wasn't going to let anything, my background or the society that I grew up in, kundikanganisa what I had. The dreams, the visions. I grew up in a community whereby drug abuse was just but the order of the day. Girls being married off at a very tender age. Simply because, sometimes not only because of poverty, but we didn't have knowledge. Yes, of course, these organizations were there preaching about girl child rights movements and all, but then they never reached to our societies. And at the end of the day, we never knew that these people existed. And then I said to myself, instead of sitting here crying every day, no one is hearing us, I'm going to be the voice of this community. I took a step forward. I joined YeMwanasikana because I realized that it's not only my community that is facing this, but Zimbabwe at large. And kana uri wanika awukwanise kuita zvinhu zvakawanda, but when we are girls like this, we can conquer, we can do a lot of things with unity. And let me tell you, when a girl speaks, they listen. And it's not something choti ndakachinzwa kana kuti ndinochiverenga mumabhuku. I witnessed it. I've been moving different places all over Zimbabwe, Marange and Chipinge and all. And then I've noticed women and girls as young as we are using cow dung and leaves in sanitary way. Yes, I can see you all, you are sympathizing, but this is not the story we have just only started talking about today. This has been happening for over a year. Girls have wrote petitions appealing to the government, civil society organizations. And last year, just as the director mentioned, we were promised that the government was going to give free sanitary ware to those vulnerable girls in the rural areas. But they never came. Now, the voice of the girl has become more like ceremonial. Kuti panongoitwa any movements, mune musikana ari kufana kutaura because vanonzi vanonetsa. To a moment at my college, vanotoziva kuti inini ndikamira kodzero dzevasikana ndakutotaura inga ndimirire ipapo. To an extent yekuti vanga kumoti vasikanawo chingovapaiwo tingavaitewo sei, vanhu vanoda kunzwikwa, vanoda attention. So when a girl child is trying to speak, the society is calling her names. The society ikubvisa confidence mune vana vevasikana. Why? It's because of my norms. Cultural norms, the way we have been brought up. We grew up in a patriarchal society whereby we were taught that the boy child ndiye anokwanisa kuita A, B, C, and D, musikana chaangofana kuita is only to become a housewife. We are very tired as girls to go to podiums, prestigious podiums, to tell my challenges are true face, and nothing is being done at the end of the day. Yes, we've got women in power. We are very proud of you and we are following in your steps. We thank you very much. But when these policies that are made, the policies that are affecting a girl child, who is representing a girl child is the women. Are these women coming back to the society? Profession aside, this is not happening. My policies A, B, C, and D, but my policies have we been consulted before. Now as girls, we want to be awarded. We want to be given opportunities to come and speak. And we want implementations. Now the Nikaya said to talk about achieving the Sustainable Development Goal number 5, which speaks about gender equality. We are moving towards a Vision 2030, which speaks about gender equality. And this is only in theory. I'm afraid that in the next 5 years or 10 years, the same thing over and over again. Because after we preach that, there is no one who is doing my follow-ups to see where have we come now. We now need a nation. We now need a Zimbabwe, whereby if a girl child speak, they listen. We now need a Zimbabwe, whereby if they see a girl child like me holding a mic, we now our girls to be included. Decision making is very important. Yes, Atukwane said maybe in parliament because of age. We are only asking for my governments, my civil society organizations to come back in societies. And when we say society, we are not only referring to Harare. We have got many provinces in Zimbabwe. Who is representing those girls far down the country? No one. We have heard our organizations before preaching about gender equality. We are moving towards achieving the Vision 2030 SDG number 5. But what have we done so far? We are very tired, especially me, Kutindungomira, Totaura, to preach, and people clap hands. Pasina Shatrugzoita at the end of the day. We now need a responsible environment. It is gender responsiveness. The action. This is what we are looking for. We have been trying, ever since I joined YeMwanasikana in 2014, we have been preaching, teaching people from different communities, trying to eliminate every harmful social cultural practices that you might think of that are affecting girl child, our collective responsibilities. We have been fighting child abuse, child early marriages, but now it's been 5 years and we are still fighting for the same cause. 5 years. This should be history now. Instead of us continue teaching go fight over the same cause, girl child abuse, A, B, C, and D, let's implement. When we talk, let's action. 5 good years the child early marriage. We want these issues to be my stories of the past.
kunzi muZimbabwe tantimbone rate 83% for example yevasikana vairorwa, but ever since vasikana pavakatanga kumova from 2014 up to now 2020 mastates adzikira kusvika pa13%. This is what we want. We now need a government. We now need a civil society organized. And when I say we now need much changes, I'm not only referring to the government. Us as a society, we play a very big role. Yes, the government is there, but they also need us. It's our collective responsibility to come together and fight for the same cause. And this starts by empowering a girl child. We need to embrace it. There is more a girl child can do if given the opportunity. Look, we have got girls who are doing electrical engineering. We are very proud. And when I see her, I always say, this is my sister. She's doing electrical engineering. Did you know? Yeah. And then the guys will be like, I am a program. Who said my programs? So this from the society. So let's start from the grassroots level before we become, before title cards. As we all know, March is the month of women. And we are celebrating them. But before we are women, we are girls. And we want to start being empowered at a grassroots level. So that when we get there, the next generations to come will benefit from us. We just do not want my advocates to know we are in I advocate for myself. I'm now up there nakuta ABC and D, and then kumashire kwangu hakuna kuya. Yes, we have got women in power like Director Ekeni Achifamba, my directors from the UN Women. But have we ever thought the moment they step down, who is empowered enough of our age to go and take up that role? Yes, empowerment is being parades empower vasikana, but on the ground, are we really empowering our girls? Or we are just coming to my conferences whereby we preach about gender equality, empower our girls, and then it ends from there. This is not what we want. As girls, we are tired. Feedback after 24 hours, feedback after 72 hours. Yet they know sometimes and nakana access office ya minister say. We now need girls to be awarded such opportunities that they can freely walk to those offices and see. Remember me when we discussed about those issues? Where are we now? We need our girls to walk up freely without being called names. When a girl child is passing there, comments simply because I'm a girl. And it's also as girls empower na pachedu. But us as girls, if we learn to embrace that sisterhood, like ABC and D, if we are in such a position, we are inevitable. We are powerful. They won't be able to ignore us. So we want a nation, respond. For united we stand and divided we fall. And I hope on behalf of our Skana Vantu kutaurenta kamiririra kuti kutaura kwachaita nhasi change. And when change come, tisu shida kutanga kuita mapioneers acho. Kuti alright, kudara taiziva kuti mwana musikana akataura nothing was done. But when us we spoke, Patelesha Girls' Rights Movement, this has been done ABC. This is now what we want as girls. We want a nation. Product UN Women product Shamwari YeMwanasikana, because we can, and nothing can stop us if they give us the chance. We only want the chance to be out there. We only want the chance to represent ourselves. We only want the chance to air out our views. Ladies and gentlemen,
without wasting much of our time, I would like to say thank you so much once again for giving me this opportunity, and I will continue to urge all policymakers that might be here present with us today, different organizations, kuti vatinzwe. We are now tired yokungotaura zvinhu zvakangowanda, tikuda gender rights edu ABC and D, pasina zviri kuzoitwa at the end of the day. Let's come together, let's embrace our girls, so that when we step into womanhood, we are very ready. We are not afraid what can be in the world. Right now, for example, things are very hard out there. Kuma colleges, fees, and then our girls, most of them, it's not by choice. Some of them did not get the opportunity and the chance that I got in. I can be empowered. I can do A, B, C, and D. There are other alternatives rather than A, B, C, and D. So let's reach out kuvasikana vachiri vana vadiki at a very tender age and hear them. With this, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nyasha. Did we all see how passionate she was when she was talking about girls, what they need and what they are demanding today? So, the girls, they have something they have prepared for you before our official launch.
We are the change makers. We are the change makers.
I am a girl. I hold dignity.
We are today's leaders. In life, success comes through hard work.
My talent means nothing without working hard and dedication.
I have the courage to stand still.
You are the key to your own success. Be strong and build up confidence.
Without hard work and sweat, you can never achieve anything.
Together we can make the world a better place for girls.
Be yourself. Life is all about showing who you are as a girl child.
The girls, they have candles symbolizing the fire that they have within them. We were supposed to light the fire from each girl to each girl, symbolizing what that big fire is going to look like when they are a collective. So I would like to call upon Councillor Kenya Chifamba to come up front and help us call our guest of honor, Delphine, as well as our President Nyasha, as we officially launch the girls' rights movement.
Thank you, Natasha. The reason why we chose Delphine, our country rep for UN Women, to come and be the guest of honor today. Hey, I had to write this down so that I don't mess it up. Delphine, to us, maybe you don't know, for myself, you are a role model. Every time I'm on the television and messing up, you know how we do it when you're still doing our small speeches. We're like, oh, when I become a UN resident coordinator one day, I'll be like Delphine. You see how you were doing it, slowly explaining it, and everyone will be nodding. That's exactly who I want to be. But then for our girls as well, collectively, why we chose Delphine to be here. Delphine is the one who is championing the Spotlight Initiative. We're talking about movement building. Numbers. We're leaving no one behind. You understand this better. And I like the fact that you talked about us not just moving forward as the girls. You know how it's like when we kill a chicken, kumusha, headless, going nowhere, you don't know where you're going, you don't know whether you're going to hit a brick or what. But we really need to be guided accordingly so that along the way we don't miss the objective. we really need the support of our development partners. We need the support of the civil society. We need the support of our government ministries. We need the support of the media. We need everyone. We cannot leave them behind. Delphine, you are an exceptional someone. And for me, an exceptional feminist. Is it okay if I use that? And she has an open door policy. Imagine if she didn't have that. Would I have gone to her door and say, oh, it's us, Shamwari YeMwanasikana? And they were like, oh, Shamwari YeMwanasikana, what does this organization do? What does it do? So she has an open door policy. Like, if you want to come, you want to be mentored, you want us to show you the way, you can always come through. That's the type of person that Delphine is. And she's an expert in gender issues. All these terminologies that we'll be saying and not saying it right, like, oh no, that's not the right, that's not the right way to say it. And also one good thing that I like is because it's all contextualized. You understand how difficult it is to be a woman in the African context. Growing up in an environment where no one wants to listen to you. You know how it has been difficult breaking the barriers and also including the males on our journey towards gender equality. I think I was just telling you about the event that we had on Saturday with the males, and half of them will be like, we know these are women's issues. We'll start listening to you later on. Can we go and play pool? You can do your speeches later. But you can contextualize and really relate on how difficult it is even for some of our young girls as well. We chose Delphine because you know you're a transformative leader. And we know the moment we start this, we don't want this to end at Shamwari YeMwanasikana. We want all like-minded organizations to come on board. We want to take this movement regionally. We want to take this movement internationally so that at some point in time, we'll remember that when we were at Marlborough, at some point in time in Harare, this movement was launched. It's not about a Kenya. It's not about Shamwari YeMwanasikana. It's about all of us. It's about making a difference. So Delphine, please come up so that we can officially launch this movement.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to do it this way. Delphine, you are going to be the middle because we are launching using a new banner that is going to make people see our theme that we'll be running with. A Kenya can go the other side and Nyasha the side. Benedette. Okay, I was looking for you. So Benedette is going to assist us to show us which strings to pull for us to have that big drop. Girls' Rights Movement!
Let's light the fire!
Let's light the fire!
Girls' Rights Movement!
Girls' Rights Movement!
Let's light the fire!
Let's light the fire! Girls' Rights Movement. So over to you. Cynthia Mare.
A girl like me, a girl just like you. She grew up in misery, with nothing, but one day, she became somebody.
Let's dance to Cynthia Mare Motonga Vire. Everybody, may you please stand up?
Let's
Thank you, Dolphin. Sorry, we still need you at the front. I would like to call upon Avril and Kathy. Avril and Kathy, they have a little something for you from the girls.
Pamsoe Bereki. Ne pamwe salipo. Inaangwa ndikinyatogona kutaura pamberi pevanhu. But nhasi ndikubudisa courage yangu yekutaura nemi. Pakatanga vaiva necourage yekuda kuti vakadzi vaite courage nevasikana, vakadzi vaibatsirizwa nevarume vasina chavanokwanisa kuita. But kozvino tese taane courage yekuti tinokufanira kuzvimiririra. Kushamwari YeMwanasikana tinoita zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana, tinogadzira zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana, like my necklaces.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is a present for you, Dolphin, from the girls. This is what they do with the girls at the Adandaros. So they do different things that they make beads, they make earrings, shoes, and also handbags. So this time they thought this is specifically for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. And well done in your talking. You did well. Never feel shy. Okay. Well done. Thank you very much.
Oh, you need a hug from me. Oh my God. Thank you, Avril and Kathy. If you want to build a movement that transcends borders, the girls have mentioned that they need information, they need you as adults to hold their hands as they are doing it, and also that very important pillar in terms of sustainable livelihoods, doing things, making use of their skills, beads and everything. We need to give them all the support that they need. Be it capacity building, this movement will be relying mostly on you as the adults to offer the skills, expertise and information and even knowledge. If you are that someone who have that skill that you feel is very important for a young woman who will need it later in life, please feel free to come and reach out to them as a movement because they need it. And we need this information to reach all of the girls in Zimbabwe because we don't want it only to be Shamwari YeMwanasikana. As a collective, we are one. As a collective, we can make it happen. As a collective, we can defy graffiti. So I'm going to call upon Natalie, who is going to give us the closing remarks. Our electrical engineer, defying graffiti as well, defying the gender stereotypes in the community as she is dominating in the male-dominated field.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone. My name is Natalia and I'm a member of the Girls' Rights Movement. First of all, I'd like to tell you something, girls. I see us as phoenixes. Why am I saying this? Life did a number on us and made us girls in a society where we are not seen as equals. In a society where we constantly have to fight for everything. In a society where we are seen as a wastage of breath. But what do we do as girls? We are rising up as phoenixes. So if you are in support of everything that I'm saying, please, can you answer me? Girls' Rights Movement?
Let's light the fire.
Where's the fire, girls? Girls' Rights Movement.
Let's light the fire.
Let's light the fire.
Girls' Rights Movement.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the guest of honor, Dolphin Sarumaga. Thank you very much for gracing us these events with your presence. It really means a lot to us. I would also like to thank the UN representatives, embassies, civil society organizations, various government ministries, and I would also like to thank YeMwanasikana for giving us the wings to fly and helping us girls realize that we have the power and we have the voice to speak on behalf of the voiceless. We have a voice and power, but however we need resources and capacities to make the movement grow and be sustainable. So we call upon all embassies, civil society organizations, as well as policymakers to come on board and make this movement a reality, and mostly to other girls' rights organizations to come on board in order for us to become stronger and louder. We lead, we are powerful, we are the future. Agenda 2030, here we come. So I would like to thank you for taking the first step into our journey to infinity with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you very much. As she has given us our closing remarks, just as a parting gift from the girls, they want to sing for you and say, please keep on supporting us and please spread the news, please spread the information so that each and every girl hears about this movement and wants to be part of the movement. So girls,
Nyasotera unzwe musikana Mwanasikana akakosha nyasotera unzwe musikana nyasotera unzwe musikana Mwanasikana akakosha nyasotera unzwe musikana nyasotera unzwe musikana Mwanasikana akakosha nyasotere unzwe musikana nyasotere unzwe musikana Mwanasikana akakosha nyasotere unzwe musikana nyasotere unzwe musikana Mwanasikana akakosha nyasotere unzwe musikana nyasotere unzwe musikana mururu 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 akakosha nyasotere unzwe musikana nyasotere unzwe musikana Mwanasikana akakosha nyasotere unzwe musikana. So Tukudichi nyasotera unzwe musikana, our voices are our power. Tisutiata tishatora na Auntie Delphine Kuturia, tomorrow's leaders. For the next 10 years, Tisubita Songetanga TV Papi, Palave Ishishi. Says Tapi Washimuti, Tajipiwa with Zosho, Tisutana, Chusaka Bora Tisturna Rishish. Sagatuchi go back, moto.
Thank you. Just DJ, maybe Mumbo Tipoka Mumanzi, as we are waiting for just to prepare our lunch so that we get lunch served for all of us. So just a little music as we network. So thank you very much for gracing our event. Thank you very much for supporting the girls as we launch this movement, which is for all of us, because at Kwanse Kurarama Tisina Urubatsiro Remwenemwe. So thank you very much from me, Natasha, and to you. Have a pleasant day and let us network. Baskana, adults are here for you, so let's network with the adults and learn a little bit of things for today. This is the platform for you to build your movement further as you get some information and expertise from the adults who are within us today. So DJ, thank you.
Simplex music.
Stallion.